Hotel. Clark, Griffin Bass, MC Ernest. Just a second, Aaron Oster will check in from Vegas. Get his 5 L's for the week. And then later in the show, we will head to the Fanduel Sportsbook live casino and hotel, chat with our buddy Leon Twyman, general manager of the Fanduel Sportsbook. He'll tell you how you can get some free bet action while you bet on football all throughout the week. The single best place to be to watch and bet on every major sporting event, including football Saturdays and Sundays, is the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel, Maryland. You like me? You had a decent week. Decent. Not. I didn't make bank, but more wins than losses for your pal this week. I have not forgiven Nick Chubb yet, nor do I plan to, you son of a bitch. Sorry. I shouldn't say that. Still.
What if he's a Raven one day?
I know, right? Kareem Hunt, too, by the way. Maybe the Ravens should trade for Kareem Hunt so he could not go out of bounds. Joining us now from VSiN out in Vegas. He has our buddy Aaron Oster. Aaron, did you have any action on the Jets-Browns game on Sunday?
I did not, and I'm really glad I didn't.
Oh, could you imagine? I can, because I lost. Now, this is the different. I did not know what had happened because, of course, I do the Ravens postgame show for 105.7 The Fan. So I'm so glued in on what's going on with the Ravens game that I'm not really paying attention. Like, all of a sudden, we have one of the guys who works on the show is a Jets fan, and all of a sudden I see him freaking out. I did not know the extent of what had occurred. Thank God. If I had been watching that live, I might have jumped. Like, I might have jumped off a bridge. I cannot believe that would occur, but such is life. We live, we learn, we move on. That's the way that it goes. Aaron, a week ago, not a lot better. Not a lot better. You got one. Your local bet. You got that. The over in the Ravens-Dolphins
Nailed
game.
that.
Yeah, got that.
No sweat at all on that one.
Comfortably, yes. You got that one.
Teaser didn't go quite as well.
I'm quite angry at you because I let you talk me into the long shot. I let you talk me into betting Nebraska to cover. I hate you so much. I hate you. I hate you vociferously because that was one of my losses this week. Yeah, your teaser, your love. It was bold to go with the teaser for your love bet when that's the one that's supposed to always hit. That's supposed to be your lock. Yeah.
It didn't quite go that way.
Nah.
Remember we talked a few months ago about how, man, it looks like the Bengals are getting their O-line problems together.
Yeah, the thing about that is they're on track to let Joe Burrow get sacked 111 times this season.
They might somehow be worse than last year.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? The only good news, and it's sad good news, is that you also had a previous loser bet that basically has been clinched. It was reminding me that you did give out Trey Lance MVP odds as a loser bet at 40-1 a few weeks back. Not a few weeks. On May 24th, you gave us that bet, and that's not going to happen. Unfortunate for Trey, but good news, if you did not make that bet, you don't have to worry about that. You got that going for you. All right, new week. We try again. 5 L's of betting from Aaron this week. We begin locally. What do you like?
I'm going to keep this one really, really simple this week, and that's I'm taking Ravens minus the 3.
Whoa!
I'm fading the Patriots. Yeah, I'm fading
Aaron,
the Patriots.
Are you aware that the Ravens have never won a regular season game in Foxborough?
Have you realized that the Patriots haven't been like this over the past 20 years
well,
at Foxborough?
They were the last time the Ravens played the Patriots in Foxborough, Cam Newton was the quarterback.
Well, okay,
and the
so
Ravens
it might
still
be a thing.
lost.
Okay, so if it's one of those things, it's one of those things. I'm going to just say I don't think the Patriots are very good at this whole football thing this season, especially offensively. And I think that, even with all the injuries to the Ravens, I think the main way you're going to beat the Ravens this season is with offense. And the Patriots don't have offense. I think they were lucky to beat the Steelers this past week. Obviously, they beat the Dolphins, though only held the Dolphins to 20 points. So we may have to go revisit that at some point in the next few weeks. But I do think the Ravens are better. I do think that the Patriots aren't going to have the firepower to keep up with the Ravens. And I do think that, even though it is in Foxborough, I think the Ravens can cover 3.
I think you're right, but part of that is predicated on the idea that like they're going to need to get J.K. Dobbins back at some point. If they can't run the ball, and they can't run the ball, I don't know that I can feel comfortable betting the Ravens against much of anyone. Like, until I see I keep saying Gus Edwards. It'd be nice to have Gus Edwards back, too, for the record. Let me make that clear.
He's good, too.
Yes,
I'd
like to also have Gus Edwards. But until they've got J.K. Dobbins back out on the field, and until I see that they figured out that they can run the ball, I don't know, man. It is just a tough thing at the moment. Like that, they scored 38 points, but they couldn't. They lost time of possession by 10 minutes. By 10 minutes. Aaron.
As much as anything, this is a fade of the Patriots as much as it's an endorsement of the Ravens.
I hear you. Since you're not doing it as your local bet, what do you make of the way the money has moved on the Maryland game?
It surprises me.
Yeah.
So if again, it depends where you're looking at the opener. But it opened, at least in Vegas, the place that opens up first is at the Circa. It opened at 20. It's down to 16 right now. All the money's coming in on Maryland. And doesn't this just kind of have the feeling of that game? The bettors are always expecting it to be close, and then it's like Maryland has one of those every single year. And yes, I'm not necessarily against playing Michigan minus 16 or minus 16.5 if you have that.
I hate saying that, but that's my exact feeling at the moment. The number is at Fanduel 16.5 for Michigan, and if I'm being honest with you, look, man, I like Maryland against SMU last week, despite the fact that they are very undisciplined. I still like them, but my God, it somehow got worse, their penalty problem. They took points off the board just in dumb ways. And I like Jayshon Jones. I don't want to beat him up, but like, what are you doing, dude? Like, what in the world is going on? So yeah, I don't love that number. I'd probably bet Michigan. All right.
This literally happens every year to Maryland, by the way. There's one game where the bettors, because of the numbers, line it up, and then Maryland becomes Maryland. And this is probably that game.
They see that Maryland's 3-0, coming off a win over a good team. Good
offense, good analytics.
It's a big number. It's all of it. Like let's ride with Maryland. Yeah, I don't love it. All right, let's get to your long term. Give me your futures bets.
FanDuel just put up an option in college football that I like. It has a to make the college football playoff bet, and it allows you to parlay it. So look, over the past few months, every time we've talked about it, we've kind of been saying, look, there's 3 teams that are probably in. We're just talking about the 4th spot here. So if you're allowed to parlay all of those together, why not parlay Alabama, Georgia, and Ohio State together? That makes it basically even money at minus 108. Who's not making it out of those 3?
I mean, the only argument would be, could Ohio State end up losing to Michigan, right? Like, that's the only real. Now, with the game being in Columbus, you don't feel like they will, but that's essentially what you're betting there, right? Is does Ohio State beat Michigan?
Sure. And I can get minus 108 on Ohio State beating Michigan?
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I'm not going to argue with you. All that, everything about it is fair. I guess maybe we still have to throw the Kentucky conundrum into there, right? Like, with Georgia having to go
sure, but they could lose to Kentucky and still make it like a one-loss SEC team.
They would, but the scenario where both they and Alabama, now you start getting specific, right? Like, Kentucky has to lose multiple games. So that
I see what you're saying.
Right? Like, in the scenario the very specific scenario that you're talking about, where if Georgia were to lose to Kentucky, involves Kentucky losing multiple SEC games, which I don't know who else is on Kentucky's schedule. So you might say to me, like, do they play Alabama?
I don't think they play Alabama, but I do think Kentucky's good. I like Kentucky.
Right.
There's absolutely a world where they could lose the game.
I understand. Well, they got to lose 2. Remember, we got to find.
Right. Well, I'm saying the SEC championship.
Well, so you're saying you're saying Georgia loses to Kentucky, misses the SEC championship game, And you still
makes
put
it.
Georgia in when Kentucky loses to Alabama in the SEC championship game. Okay.
We've seen it before.
Okay.
I mean, there's that path. There's multiple paths, but yeah.
By the way, they're at Ole Miss this week. That's not a gimme. Like, that is
Right.
definitely not. For Kentucky is what we're talking about. But yes, we're talking, basically we're betting some very specific games is what we're talking about. So, you know, I
know you don't normally like that type of bet, but
yeah,
money is money.
I hear you. I hear you. Those are three teams we all believe. Like, we all believe that those teams are teams that should make it. I'm with you. All right. Next, let's go to long shot. What's the underdog that you love?
I'm still going through the awards markets. They're incredibly volatile right now, as with every game. We're getting new favorites in every market, and players going up, players going down. And there's one player who's on what appears to be a pretty high-powered offense for the first 2 weeks, doing pretty well. And he is still 75-1 to win Offensive Player of the Year, and that's A.J. Brown on the Eagles. A.J. Brown right now 6th in the NFL in receiving yards. He's 224. He seems to be Jalen Hurts' favorite target, and they're letting Jalen Hurts throw the ball, as we've been seeing over the past 2 weeks. He's 75-1 right now, and I mean, the knock against Jalen Hurts or A.J. Brown is that Jalen Hurts is going to be running the ball from 30 yards out and getting touchdowns. They're going to be running the ball in to get touchdowns. Right now, he doesn't have a touchdown, and that's the real knock against him. If that changes, though, and he starts getting touchdowns, he's going to be among the league leaders in receiving yards. So at 75-1 on an offense where you're going to be trying to, when voters come around to it, I think we're going to be trying to reward that offense because it is going to be such a big change. Again, long shot, 75-1. I don't hate it.
It's a hell of a long shot. It's a hell of a long shot. Do I hate it? Yeah, I mean, like, boy. You know what? We're just going to say fine, and I'm going to move on because I don't know. I got to think about that. Go ahead.
Again, look, the reasons against it are obvious. As good as A.J. Brown is, that offense isn't so high-powered that he probably won't be leading the league in receiving, and it'll be tough to win it if he doesn't win. But again, it does look like he is the favorite target of Jalen Hurts.
Yes, it does.
Is it possible that he leads the league in receiving? It's possible. It's not completely ridiculous. I mean, again, right now Stephon Diggs or Justin Jefferson or Cooper Kupp are the favorites for the reason. But again, you tell me there's a 75-1 chance he leads the league in receiving?
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. I understand what you're saying, and there's something there. I will give you that much. There is something there. All right, let's keep moving. Aaron Oster is with us from VSiN out in Vegas. Give me your loser. Give me the one that you say, whatever you do, like Trey Lance is MVP, just please do not make this bet. You're going to end up regretting it.
Well, it's funny you bring up the Trey Lance MVP and that being a loser. Because FanDuel's overreacting again to something. Right now on FanDuel, you look at the MVP market, Jimmy G is the 14th favorite at 39-1.
Wow.
He's moved all the way from 150-1 to 39-1 just by getting into the game.
Okay,
14th favorite.
I'd like to hope no one's actually making this bet anyway. I'd like to hope that, like, even though it exists, it's not a bet somebody's actually making.
I mean, I hope. Look, because no other book has made a move this dramatic. So he's moved up a little bit at some other books, 100-1, 80-1, something along those lines at other books. The fact that he's moved to 39-1 at FanDuel makes me think that there are people playing it, and hopefully that just means they got it in at 150-1 where it was this weekend before he got into the game. I still don't think he can win it, but whatever. You get it at 150-1. I'm never going to criticize a 150-1 bet. He's the 14th favorite to win MVP. Don't make this bet. Absolutely not. If you're even thinking about it, you're out of your mind.
Okay. All right. I'm in complete agreement about that. I just can't believe there's somebody who's thinking about making the bet. And the one that you love, the one that you say, get there, however you got to get there, you got to do it, make this bet. What is it?
I like this much better yesterday morning. The line has moved considerably, but I still think there's a little bit of value there. Right now, the Packers-Buccaneers game, the total sits at 41.5. Neither offense looks very good right now, and both defenses look pretty good. Packers game's Their totals have been 37-30. Buccaneers totals have been 22-30 in their games. Mike Evans is going to be suspended, which deals another blow to the Buccaneers offense.
What's the deal with him appealing that, by the way? Is there any?
He's appealing it. Most people don't seem to think it's very likely.
Okay.
It's a repeat offender situation for him. And the fact, I mean, look, the video looks that he runs, a third away across the field to steal out a clothesline.
I get it.
It seems unlikely. It's not impossible, but most people seem to think it's fairly unlikely that that'll get overturned. The total opened up, by the way, all the money's coming in on the under. The total opened up 45.5, 46, depending on exactly when they updated it. Obviously went down a little bit because of the suspension, but then just kept going down because more money kept pouring into it. I think this is just a situation where both offenses right now don't look good and both defenses do look good. I really do expect this to be a 2017 type game, so I'm pretty comfortable with under 41.5.
I don't know how I feel about your love bet being an under. I really don't know how I feel about that. All right, man, what's going on with VSiN out in Vegas?
As always, check out VSiN. You can sign up for the VSiN Pro subscription there. You can find all about that at VSiN.com. That includes our top plays, our daily tips, all of our breakdowns for all of the games, of course, NFL and college football, but so much more. And, of course, MLB playoffs coming right around the corner. So you'll want to check out all of that at VSiN.com.
At the Oster on Twitter is how you follow him. All right, pal, appreciate you. We'll talk to you next Tuesday.
All right, hope everyone has their bets.
That's Aaron Oster from VSiN checking in with us here on Simply the Bets. When we come back in, we head to the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel to talk to their GM, Leon Twyman. That's next. Simply the Bets.
Stan the Fan here, welcoming back one of my favorite sponsors, the Costas Inn. And everybody around Baltimore knows the Costas Inn is a great place to go and grab crabs, steaks, salads, soups, whatever's on your mind to eat in person. But did you know that the Costas Inn has upped their game? They are now one of the premier takeout places in Baltimore. Give them a call now to order your food, 410-477-1975. That's the Costas Inn over 4100 North Point Boulevard.
What's up, everyone? This is Tyus Bowser, and I'm excited to tell you that I'm back for Season 2 of the Tyus Bowser Show in partnership with Pressbox and Great H Memorabilia. Join us on Tuesday nights throughout the season as I'll be heading all over town with my special guests. And, of course, our co-hosts, Glenn and Rita. Or is it Rita and Glenn? What is it? I look forward to meeting you guys and talking a little bit about football and a lot about life. And if you happen to miss the show, you can now catch a replay Friday nights on 105.7 The Fan. Get all of your details for the Tyus Bowser Show right now at PressBoxOnline.com/Bowser.
The next Tyus Bowser Show is Tuesday, September 20th at Skipjack's Crab Deck in Middle River. It's brought to you by the all-new Ginsu Grill and Maryland Vascular Specialists.
The latest edition of Press Box is available now. On the cover, Bo Smolka profiles Ravens tight end Mark Andrews' path to NFL stardom, from his late decision to play the sport full-time through having to overcome type 1 diabetes and more. Also, inside, we introduce you to football players at Maryland, Navy, Towson, and Morgan State. And we give you everything you need to know for betting football this season. Press Box is available for free at over 500 area locations, including 60 Royal Farm stores. And you can always find the entire edition, as well as the best daily coverage of demos, Ravens, and Terps at PressBoxOnline.com.
See Olympic athletes in action as the nation's best horses and riders compete in one of the world's premier equestrian events at the Mars Maryland 5-Star at Fair Hill, presented by Brown Academy, October 13th through 16th in Cecil County. Don't miss the breathtaking excitement of the dynamic cross-country competition or the elegance of dressage and precision of show jumping. There's also great shopping and activities, including a fresh food fest, corgi race, and a beer, wine, and spirits showcase. So come enjoy a beautiful fall day at the Mars Maryland 5-Star at Fair Hill, presented by Brown Advisory, October 13th through 16th. Learn more and buy tickets at maryland5star.us.
The Maryland Lottery presents Ravens' Greatest Plays. 2001, the big one. New York had just scored, and momentum was on their side when the Ravens returned the ensuing kickoff 84 yards for the touchdown that cemented their first world championship. Another great Ravens play belongs to Beth of Riverdale. Beth played Ravens scratch-offs and won a chance to travel with the team to an away game. You could be next. Play Ravens scratch-offs with instant prizes up to $100,000. And please play responsibly.
The Baltimore County Police Department is hiring. Entry-level officers start at close to $59,000 a year with a $10,000 bonus. Some restrictions apply. Plus a great retirement plan, medical, dental, and vision insurance, advancement to specialized units, tuition reimbursement, 15 sick days earned per calendar year, and even further incentives for military members and veterans. If you have a passion for service and want a career for life, visit joinbaltimorecountypd.com or call 410-887-5542. You must be a United States citizen, possess a valid driver's license, and have a high school diploma or GED equivalent. The Baltimore County Police Department is an equal opportunity employer.
If you can't listen or watch live, you can subscribe to the show via Spotify, Amazon, or Apple Podcasts. Leave a 5-star review while you're there. Or, if lying isn't your thing, we'll take a 3.5-star review too.
This is Simply the Bets, brought to you by the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. Thursday night football, Saturday college football, Sunday NFL football, Monday night football, whatever it is, there's nowhere better for you to watch and bet on all of the games than the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel. Reserve your spot for whatever night it is, whatever day it is, right now by emailing events@sportssocialmd.com. Let's head to the Fanduel Sportsbook. Now that's where we find our guy, Leon Twyman, the general manager of the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. He's back with us here on Simply the Bets. Leon, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, how's it going?
Everything is all right, man. So I have to be honest with you. Every time I try to explain the free bet offer, I realize I'm probably screwing it up. So I need you to run through it for me one more time so that I biblically understand it, so that every time I talk about it, I don't just end up saying, you know what, just go to the window and ask that.
So the way the free bet works, you have to place a parlay. Any parlay, doesn't matter what it is, as long as the odds are at least plus 500, you will earn a $5 free bet for every $25 that you wager, but it caps it at $50.
Okay, so let's go over this one more time. Any parlay that you put a bet in for, if the odds are plus 500 or more, you get a $5 free bet. Now
Correct. For every $25 that you wager.
Right. So what you're saying when you say for every $25 that you wager, are you saying you can put in 10 $25 wagers and that caps you at $50 of free bet? Or is it $50 of the wagers that you put in, that's where you're capped? That's the part, I guess, maybe that I'm still missing.
So you're going to get capped in that one session. So if you place, $250 in that one session, it's going to cap you. So if you go to, you can go to different kiosks, obviously, and place a bunch of individual $25 parlays, and you can get as many of those $5 free bets as you want. The only downfall about it is that you cannot stack them because they have to be individual $5 bets when you do place those.
Okay.
So when you redeem them, when you do redeem them, they have to be on a same game parlay to redeem them. And the odds have to be plus 500 as well. So
let's make that sure we understand that. So you get your $5 free bet. You can make a $5 free bet. You can't use that to say, well, I want to put $50 on something else. No, what you're being offered is a free $5 bet on a same-game parlay where the odds also have to be plus 500 or more. So the odds have to be plus
Correct.
500 both ways. Plus 500 on the parlay that you bet originally in order to earn the free bet, and then plus 500 on the same-game parlay that you use the free bet on.
Correct.
Man, I think I got it now. And remind me, you can't use it the same day. You have to come back the next week in order to use it as well, correct?
That is correct. So it is valid the following Monday for whatever week you earned it. So if you earn it anywhere between Monday and Sunday, you can use it that following Monday and Sunday.
So again, if you want to go in this Sunday and put in your $25 parlay bet, you can earn that free bet and then come back Monday night for the Cowboys-Giants game and use that free bet on Monday nights.
That is correct.
Very good. That explains it. And then I'm going to screw it up again. I'm going to end up asking you the same question next Tuesday. But I think I've got it all under control. All right. How did this was a wild week, obviously, in football. How did it go for the book?
We did extremely well.
Okay. Who helped you the most?
So So the Bengals. The Bengals helped us the most.
You know,
Them losing, so I'm looking right now. I was just dying to tell you this. So we had a bunch of large wagers totaling $101,000. Every single one of those lost because of the Bengals.
wow.
These are all five-figure bets.
My God.
So what's even more crazy is that $66,000 of that was one person, and he lost all those bets.
That is a tough day, man. That is a really tough day. I can't pretend like I'm surprised, though. They did seem to be the safest bet of the week with the Cowboys starting Cooper Rush. I know you're probably reveling. God, they win. Now they won one game, so we're gonna get 12 more primetime games from the Cowboys this year. Jesus. It makes sense. I imagine the smile on your face must have been like people could have probably seen it from Dallas on Sunday.
Oh, it was great. It was just absolutely great. Loved every moment of it.
Okay, so this is an interesting thing. I assume that most of the bets that come in, because we're local, I assume that you take a good amount of bets on the Ravens every week, but maybe you're going to tell me it's actually not the case at all, and that people that come in to see you are they're not homers at all. It would just make sense to me that you guys would be feeling an awful lot of Ravens bets every week.
Oh yeah, definitely. We take in a ton of Raven bets, but I will say that this past weekend, surprisingly, it was very close with Ravens and Dolphin bettors.
Ooh, that's interesting. That's really, really interesting. I don't know. I would have thought that would have been a good result for you guys, but you're telling me it was fairly even between the money that you had from the Ravens and the Dolphins. That is fascinating.
No, I will tell you, this is also interesting, and people will love this because it's in reference to the free bets. So we had a ton of big parlay winners off of those free bets. A lot of them were $5 or $10 parlays from the free bets, and they all hit taxable amounts. So
wow,
we had, I think our biggest winner utilized a $10 free bet and won $8,000.
Holy smokes! What is the number at which it's taxable?
300 to 1 or higher is when it hits the taxable rate.
300 to 1, and then you got to get it. Wow, that is wild to me, man. Okay, so give me an example of what are people having success with, Leon? I know I'm asking you to give away secrets. I understand that. But what are the bets that you've paid out the most so far in football season?
It's a lot of the same game parlays. A lot of prop bets. I mean, people with the anytime touchdowns from the same game parlays. It's just absolutely insane.
So you're saying they go same game parlay on two different touchdown scorers in the same game, and those are paying out?
Yes, that and picking the winner of the game or the spread or just the total with that as well. Also combining that with some of the other player props from the game as far as quarterback yards and rushing yards, running backs. It's all over the place. It's crazy, but the same game parlays right now are just massive.
Griffin, it actually just struck me that my week 1 parlay of Mark Andrews and Lamar Jackson as anytime touchdown scorers, that would have hit in week 2 if I had played that. Not that I'm mad about it in any way. I want to make that abundantly clear. Totally not mad.
I bet if you just played it every week, you might end up, green by the end of the year.
I don't know if that's true or not, but it's worth exploring.
Yeah.
It's worth exploring the possibility that's the way that it worked. I did play Mark Andrews again in week 2, but I did not parlay it with Lamar in week 2, and that would have been a nice winner.
What's crazy is that usually when I play, I always like to do Tyreek Hill anytime touchdown score and Lamar Jackson anytime touchdown score. And I might put it with a couple other things. And I didn't bet that this week, and it happened. I'm like, come on now.
Way to go, Leon. Way to go.
Yeah.
You done screwed up. Leon Twyman with us. He is the general manager of the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. Leon, when you see something, you guys didn't put the numbers up quite as quickly, but for example, this week's Maryland-Michigan game in Vegas went up around 20 points and very quickly was pushed to 16. You guys have it right now at 16.5. What goes through your mind when you see movement like that?
Honestly, to me, it makes me want to put money on them.
Really? Really?
Yes, that's how I see it.
Because you think somebody knows something, or?
Yes, yeah. Usually when you see that, someone knows something is going to happen. That's how I always look at it.
It's really interesting to me because maybe this is just me being the guy that's actually cared about Maryland football for a long time. I look at that and say, this is a gift to me as a bettor. Maryland always loses this game. Like, this is always the way that it works, is that we get our hopes up and we believe something's happening here, and the moment we do, they end up, dropping the ball and losing by 5 touchdowns, something like that. Especially that it started in Vegas, like, maybe somebody knows something about an injured Michigan player that we don't know about. Something like that's what goes through your mind in those moments as to why the number might be moving and why you want to get on board with it.
Correct. And I also look at that. I look at that spread versus what that money line is. So, if you look at some of these other games that are around the same amount, those money lines are a little higher. And then if you look at, let's say, for example, you'll see some games that may be also around like 17 or 18 points, and you're already hitting that money line at minus 1,000 or more.
Wow.
So that's another thing that I look at as well, and I'm like, they're expecting something.
They're nervous. They're nervous about paying out a Maryland money line bet, is what you're saying. So
exactly.
So to talk, Maryland is they're 16.5 point dogs, but they're plus 570 on the money line. So you think that should be where?
If it was a different school, it would probably be at least plus 700.
Interesting.
In my opinion.
That's very interesting. I'm still not bold enough to do it. I am still not. It's still Maryland football that we're talking about, Leon. Like, I still can't bring myself to make that bet, but it is mighty interesting. All right, sir, anything else we should know about that's going on in the Sportsbook this week?
So not for this week, but we're bringing in some more kiosks.
Ooh, you've already got 61 and you've got bet pads. My God.
Yes, we are just absolutely destroying the market here in Maryland. We need more.
Okay, so where are they going to – are you going to put them back? So I know you moved some kiosks in order to put them in the old bowling alley space.
Correct. So they're going to go back to that space.
Back to where they were originally. So you're going to add more kiosks back in the initial space.
Correct. So right there in front of the Sportsbook and Sports and Social.
So what's the grand total going to be when all this is said and done?
So we were aiming for 10 more to get to 71, but we are going to just add additional 6 for now. So we'll be up there at 67 kiosks.
Man, it seems like it's going to make it all that much, because I know you guys get mad for football season. I know the crowds are just insane. So that's why I keep reminding everybody, get there early. Get your spot, put your money on your bet pad. Get there. If you want to go hang out and watch football for the day on Saturday or Sunday, get there, by 11 a.m., Leon? Is that probably about the time you said?
That is a good time to get here, 11 a.m.
Do that. Hang out, enjoy some delicious food at Sports and Social, and sit back and enjoy watching and betting on football throughout the day. Leon Twyman, appreciate you, pal. Again, any parlay bet of odds plus 500 or more, you make a $25 bet, you get $5 in free bet, but that's capped at $50, and you got to use it the following week, Monday to Sunday, on a same-game parlay of plus 500 odds or more.
You got it.
You got it. God, I can't. It's the first test I've ever passed in my life. Leon, thank you, pal. We'll talk to you next week, all right?
All right, thank you. Have a good one.
Leon Twyman, general manager of the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel. There's no way to turn that into like a jingle. Like, Make any parlay bet at odds of 5. Like, there's just no way that I can make that a jingle that will help me remind myself. That is entirely too much. Griffin, I'm going to, you know what? I've delegated. No, Mike is not here enough. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to delegate it to you.
So you want to write a jingle, a Fanduel jingle?
No, not a jingle. I just want you have to memorize this
right,
so that tomorrow when I'm doing the read for the Fanduel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel, I can say, and they're offering you some free bet. Griffin, tell everybody about it.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
That's the way it goes.
Yep.
You got a tidbit for us?
Yeah, I got a couple here.
Okay.
So you know who Reggie Gilliam is, right?
He is the fullback for the Buffalo Bills. He scored a touchdown last night.
Yes, he did. He scored the first touchdown.
I bet those odds were lengthy.
Yes, they were. It was it was 100-1. Bills fan, noted Bills fan, Spencer Hyman. Instead of saying, someone, because I usually just say someone did a bet, I found out the guy's name. So Spencer put $50 on this, 100-1 for Gilliam to score the first touchdown. Paid out $5,000. He put $50 on it, paid out $5,000. So,
I mean, what world?
I guess we should do.
How much did he put down? $50.
Yes, on 100.
But let's be honest about that.
On 10,000 or plus 10,000.
Right, that's not really a lot of money. But it's still, money. Like, you still to walk in and decide to yourself, I got $50. I could just, what the hell, throw it in that general direction. God, man. That is...
So we should start doing, I guess, the Pat Ricard touchdown.
Dude, for a few years, it would have been really smart to do it with Pat Ricard because they seem to be throwing to him on every first down. Now,
Josh Oliver or the Nick
same.
Boyle ones, whenever he comes back.
If he plays, yes. Yeah. That would probably not have been a good week to have done that this week.
Yeah. Someone had a $257,000 parlay on the line. They put $5 on a 16-leg NFL parlay, and the first 14 legs of it hit. They had 12 legs from the Sunday slate, and then so it was all like they picked winners.
Oh, is this the guy that cashed out?
No, there was another guy that cashed out.
Yeah, I feel like there was a college guy who cashed out.
Yeah, I think he could have won like $1 million or something.
But he cashed out with $250,000.
Yeah,
I get it, dude. A lot of people giving him crap on Twitter. That whoever that guy was,
right?
Were like, bro, the other.
It was like $7, dude.
I think the other games.
I think it did hit. Yes, I believe it. I believe it hit. But
bro, I don't.
He's a $250,000 now.
You're telling me right now somebody's about to offer me $250,000. It could be more if you wait it out. No, I thank you. I remember once upon a time I was working at a Best Buy. This is years ago. I mean, this is like when I was 16 or 17 or something like that. And they would always do these like dumb corporate like morning meetings at the store. Like, everybody gather together. We're going to get hyped for the day at Like, nobody wants to be there. Nobody's happy about working at a Best Buy. Like, it's just what you have to do because, either you can't get a better job or, you're a kid, right? And, like, you're hungover. Your life stinks, right? So now there's super Mr. Manager who's probably done a ton of cocaine. Like, my God, think about the people that were manager types at a Best Buy. They put me in that program, by the way. I wasn't doing cocaine, for the record.
Well, wait, how do you know they're doing cocaine? I feel like
I don't know that they're doing cocaine, but you know the type.
Well, you know they're doing cocaine because you were doing it.
No, you know the type.
You sound like someone who...
The person that is genuinely... You also would meet managers that you knew were not doing cocaine because they loathed, and they would cancel these meetings. They would be like, you guys got work to do. Just go ahead. We're not going to do the meeting that day. But there was always a manager or two that was working that was like super excited about morning meeting time. Like, they put everything into it, and you're like, you're definitely a cocaina is the reason why this is the case. Allegedly. So there was one guy who, I don't even remember what the lesson was that he was trying to teach about sales through this, but he did a putting contest, and he put a $20 bill on the carpet, and he said, whoever gets closest to the $20 bill, it's their $20 bill. And I won the putting contest.
Congratulations.
And then he said, thank you. I believe I deserve a bit
of that on your resume?
Some applause, I think. Thank you, right? Yeah, when John Colson says I've only ever won one thing, let's be fair. I also won the Best Buy putting contest when I was 16 or whatever it was. So then the guy...
That requires real skill.
The guy, yeah, right? The guy says, how about we go double or nothing as to whether or not I'll be closer? And I said, how about we don't? Because I was 16 and poor, and that was going to get me some Chipotle or whatever it was that it was probably not Chipotle. Chipotle wasn't really a thing at that point.
It was
Chick-fil-A. Whatever it was that I was going to get out of that was what that was going to get me, and that guy did cocaine. So, like, he was a wild card, man. I don't know. He might have rigged the game. So he was going to roll right on the $20 bill. I was like an inch away. So I said, how about no, you go ahead and give me that $20. And everybody's like, and he's like, well, all right, I'll give it to you. But let's just see how I would have done. And he steps up and he misses badly. And everybody's like, oh, I bet you feel stupid. I'm like, I bet I don't. I have $20. I didn't. This $20 bill was not in my wallet earlier, and now it is. So you know what I don't feel? Stupid. That's what I don't feel. And that's how I feel about the $250,000 guy. Like, you can make fun of that dude all you want because he could have had $1 million. You know what he's got that you don't? $250,000. Shut the F up.
Well, this guy has nothing because it was a similar looking parlay. Well, the other guy was college football, I think, and this guy was NFL. But yeah, so the first 14 legs hit. It was all like over-unders and just outright winners, I think. So he hit all his Sunday games, and then he hit the Bills-Titans game, the first Monday night game, and then he had the Vikings to beat the Eagles, which they did not. So this guy walked away with nothing. And then I also found a tennis one for you, Glenn. I mean, I don't think you would even know who these guys are. Alexander Petrov and Toby Boyer. So
no,
for some reason there were odds available for them. It was last Wednesday at the M15 tournament in Champaign, Illinois, and Petrov was a minus 20,000 favorite. Somebody put $2K on him, and he lost.
Oh God!
Against Toby Boyer.
Brutal.
Yeah. So that's people are betting on. I think I looked it up. They were one of them was like the 1,200th ranked tennis player in the world. The other one was like 1,900. And the 1,900, the guy ranked 1,900 beat the guy that was ranked 1,200, and this guy lost 2K.
It's that is rough. That is rough.
Someone used a $150 free bet on Devin Duvernay being the first touchdown scorer. And that was of all of the Week 2 Sunday games. So the entire Sunday slate. That was like a special available on Fanduel, and so he made $10,500.
My God,
off a free bet.
My God,
because Duvernay returned that touchdown.
That must be nice. All right.
Yeah, those are. I got.
Those are
that's
good.
it.
Those are
and
good.
then
That's
somebody
enough.
put $500 on the Thursday Night Football final score between the Chargers and the Chiefs.
I mean, it was a normalish score.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a.
It was 48-1 for
Yeah.
it to be Chiefs 27, Chargers 24. So he made $24,000.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Not.
Someone
bad.
also put $335,000 on the Chargers plus 4.5.
Which worked out.
Yeah, it worked out.
Mean,
but I mean, that is just.
Well, they should
gutsy.
probably offer to fillet Justin Herbert. I mean, at that point, with broken ribs, like going down and Jesus. I mean, let's be honest. Like, you had $335,000 on it, and the guy with broken ribs went down to get you a cover and nothing more.
Maybe it was Justin Herbert. No.
Maybe it was.
Although
Maybe that's why he played to the broken rib. God. All right, good stuff.
Yes.
Thanks to Aaron. Thanks to Leon. Thanks to Griffin. We will no weekend at bookies this week. We will be back next Tuesday for the next Simply the Bets. May the odds be ever in your favor.